Hi, everybody. I'm so happy to be live with you. I wanted to just hop on YouTube and do a quick live video to test out my new light. And I had a very sassy and sweet friend send me this, and hopefully I have it rigged up here right. But anyway, I wanted to have a feminine energy chat with you all. My Facebook page has really been exploding with a lot of questions about feminine energy, what it is, how do we as women use feminine energy in our relationships with men, and why aren't we doing this anyway? Why isn't it coming natural to us? And I also get a lot of questions about scripting and texting. As you know, texting is the number one way it seems everyone wants to communicate, especially in the dating world. And it doesn't leave a lot of room for connecting and really building a bond, but I can teach you how. And I had someone ask me the other day, hi, Elizabeth, feel free to ask a question if you have one. Hi, Jelsavita, nice to see you. Ask a question if you have one. I had someone ask me the other day, they said, well, what is scripting? So I studied psychology in college, and one of the things that we learned how to do is script. There are actual scripts you can use to say things that are uncomfortable or that you can't put the words together. And a lot like when you have to write your own resume and you're telling someone about you, we get kind of shy and kind of close down, or we can't really find the right words. So in a relationship with a man, it's really no different. You feel very shy. Sometimes you feel a little guilted. You feel a little scared. Like, if I tell him what I'm really feeling, will he leave me? I want this person to love me and like me, not be angry. And you don't know how to say things. So we end up saying nothing. And then what ends up happening to us once we sit on it and we bottle it up for a little while, what do we end up doing? Does anybody want to answer in chat? Yeah, we explode. Or we get really resentful and we shut down. And the man can feel it. Hi, Eunice. Yeah, the man can feel it. And then it's like this energy, and he's like, why is she mad at me? And the guy doesn't get it. So I want you to just kind of keep that understanding that feminine energy is something you have been born with, as with masculine energy. You have both, and so do men. Men have masculine and feminine energy, if you haven't noticed. I see a lot of feminine energy in men these days. And it's just really confusing for men right now because they don't really know if they should be helping us or suggest or doing things for us. I have a great story of when I was in a parking lot at a home improvement store, and I was loading mulch in my car, and I was like, God, I wish some guy would come by and help me. And sure enough, two guys were walking by, and I heard the one guy, by the way, I have kind of above average hearing. I think a lot of women do. And I heard the one guy say, maybe we should go help her. And the other guy goes, nah, we better not. Like that. And he said it like that. He was like, nah, we better not. So you know what I'm saying? I think they're a little scared to help us or do something for us. So anyway, I have since learned to adjust my vibe. And I have men coming out of the woodworks trying to do all sorts of things for me, even when I don't even want them to, and I actually want to do it myself. My husband sometimes does that with me, but I go ahead and just let him do it. I let him do it, and I thank him for it. It's good practice for us both to be in our masculine and feminine energy. So you have been born into a masculine energy world. I believe that world is changing. I believe part of your job, what you're learning with me and what you're learning to do as a woman, is to be in your feminine energy body. And I believe the world is slowly becoming a feminine energy world. We have, things like hashtag Me Too. We have more women that are college educated. We have more women that are small business owners. The list just goes on and on and on. And it is really your responsibility to understand what feminine energy is, how you can teach it to your daughters, your son, your friends, your girlfriends, and you can understand how powerful it is, and that you've been born into masculine energy. which makes you think, I need to do this. I need to make this happen. I need to say something. I need to go have an action. And this is really about just being in your feeling body. Being in your body and knowing what you're feeling. It's a very powerful place. Now, ladies, do you know how many times I get in a coaching call with someone and I ask them, I say, what are you feeling in your body? And they're like, I don't know. I don't know what I'm feeling. I can't tell what I'm feeling. Exactly. Because you've been living in your masculine energy for how long? A long time. So at one point in time, you were a little kid and you could go to your mom and say, oh, my tummy's burning, or, oh, I feel itchy all over. And how many of you were forced to wear clothes that were uncomfortable, like with tags and things like this? I was, but you couldn't really do much about it. You had to do it. You had to eat food you didn't like. You had to kiss or hug a family member you really didn't want to. So we really learned that we have to stuff our feelings down. And then we also learned if we're going to survive, we have to be in that masculine mindset. So you're not a child anymore. You're a grown adult woman, and you are way more powerful than you will ever give yourself credit for. The only thing that's ever stopping you from being more powerful is some sort of fear. I can tell you that if you really just say, what's keeping me from starting my blog? What's keeping me from starting my business? You'll find that fear. You find that first thread of fear and investigate that and find out how you can feel your way through that fear and just keep going higher and higher and higher. Okay, so that's my career coaching for you. We're going to put that aside. I don't want to get off track. So masculine energy, doing action, making things happen. Feminine energy, I'm in my body, I'm receiving, I can find out what I feel, and I can speak it if I need to. Now, a lot of you don't have to go around telling the guy like everything you're feeling in your body. Every time we're pissed off, it would be about 40 times a day for me. So you have to just find what you're feeling and go self-soothe in a lot of cases, self-soothe and find out what you need. On my website just today, I answered a question that someone said, what if your boyfriend's making you insecure because he doesn't tell you you're beautiful? And my first question to her was, do you already know you're beautiful? Do you already feel beautiful? Because it's not his job to make you feel beautiful. Okay, so put that aside. We've got that understood. But how you feel about yourself, that vibe, that energy you have about yourself, how you can receive it if he were to offer it, that's a very powerful place, you see. And no one is responsible for making you feel a certain way. You got to first feel that way about yourself, which means self-soothing, finding your insecurities, finding that fear, waking up to it, finding out how terrible it feels in your body at sometimes. How awful it can feel to be agitated or restless or anxious because you don't know how something's going to end and you don't know how it's going to go because it's out of your control. But then there's this wonderful gift of just relaxing, letting it go, receiving and trusting, whether that's trusting in a higher power, trusting in your own power, or all of those things. All right, so I have a bunch of questions. I'm going to jump in. If you have any questions about the difference between masculine and feminine energy, let me know. Hi, Diana. She said, I recently had a fallout and stopped communicating for a while. Then he started again. And since he's been the one, not me, how long can I keep this going? Okay. So he stopped communicating. Then he started again. And since then, you have been the one just communicating. You got to stop communicating. When you say communicating, you mean you're texting him first. You got to stop it. Because the minute you went all in and you started doing his work for him, he got lazy. Guys are going to get lazy and stop. Even the best guy will, because you're doing it for them. You're taking away their job. He has to feel curious about you and wonder about you and want to step up to communicate with you. So just try that. Just back off. Put your energy all on you. Oh, hi, Millie. You're in Peru. Wow. Hello. And thank you so much, Dixie, for liking my videos. It's good to see you here on YouTube. Gwen says, if you have been seeing a man, says, if you've been seeing a man for 6 months, should you expect to be included in holiday plans? Should I mention it or not say anything at all? I feel neglected. I got to grab my battery real quick. So you've been seeing him for 6 months and no holiday plans. That is a tough one. My first question to you is, and if you can answer me in chat while I get my battery, are you boyfriend and girlfriend? Are you exclusive? Or are you just dating? So if you can type that in and ask that while I grab my battery. Hold on. Sorry, guys. I thought I was prepared. I apologize. I think I just made a video recently on, are you exclusive or are you just dating? So if you're exclusive, this means the man has come to you and he says, I want to be with you and only you, and I don't want you to be with anybody else. And that's what most guys say, right? But you have to, that's great. I'm a girlfriend now. That means nothing. With my first marriage, I spent 6 years being a girlfriend. And one day he came home from work and said, I want you out of the house. I don't want you anymore. I had nothing. I had been part of building our life with my income, his income. I could have walked away with nothing. There's no common law wife, nothing like this, you see? So don't go into a relationship with a guy unless there's an offer on the table, which means a ring, or give it about 3 months. And then after about 3 months, say, this feels amazing. We've been having a wonderful time. So where do you see us going? And if he goes, well, you're my girlfriend. You let him know, I'm not interested in being a girlfriend. I want to be a wife one day. Or I want to have some sort of little ceremony or whatever it is. So if you've been seeing him for 6 months, I would definitely say something like, so what are our holiday plans looking like? And if he goes, our holiday plans, say, oh, I guess we're not on the same page. Now 500 Ways has a lot more about that. I'm giving you the shortened version, but something along that line. I don't think you got back to me in chat. I don't see you. Oh, Diana, you're worried about him stopping communication? Well, he's probably going to stop communication. If you're worried about it, if you're focused on it, if there's one thing I've learned, whatever you're focused on, you will absolutely pull to yourself. You have no control over this man. You have no control over how long any relationship will last. The only thing you do have control over is you and choosing your thoughts. So every time you begin to have that negative or scary thought, think of something beautiful and wonderful. Think of something you're grateful for. Think about God. Think about a person you love. Think about the last time you were with your partner. It was happy. And so you want to retrain your brain to focus on what does feel good. And you'll be very surprised how your life starts to adhere to that. Sylviana said, what should I do? I like this man that has just broken up with his ex, and I don't know how to act. When he told me about the breakup, and I really like that guy, act natural. Tell him, say, oh my goodness, I'm hearing about your breakup. I don't know how to act right now. It feels wonderful to be together now, though. I personally don't want to hear about someone's breakup or their past relationships. If that's the case with you, you can say, oh, it feels a little weird hearing about your ex, but it feels so good, to talk about us right now. You see? So you got a boundary and then a feeling statement. So Gwen, you've only been seeing each other and you talked about it, and I asked him if he wants me to open my energy to other men, and he said no. He's always going to say no. If you go to a man and say, should I start seeing other guys? The guy is going to go, Hell no, don't you see another man? You're with you. Claiming you is an offer on the table, like a ring on your finger, or I don't even want to say talk of marriage, because a man will take you driving around nice neighborhoods. He'll take you to a ring store and just buying time, just buying himself time. And you want to say no, like, I want to be a wife one day. So I would have that sort of talk with him. And that's in 500 ways about how to talk about being a wife. All right. Naomi says, what if my guy wants to be a feminist and for the relationship to be 50-50 effort? I think that's wonderful. Let him be a feminist. Let him believe that women should have equal pay and all those wonderful things. I hope I'm understanding you correctly. And 50-50 effort, it is 50-50 effort. So if one of you is leaning forward and one of you is receiving, or if one of you is leaning back and one of you is giving, you see how this balance happens? So when you're in your feminine energy, you're receiving from that man, you're praising him, you're letting him know how wonderful things feel. Men live to hear from a woman what's going on in her body and how wonderful she is feeling because of him. And if you have any doubts about that, just think about the last time you were in a bedroom with a guy. They want to know what we're feeling. And if they are making us feel good, they are in seventh heaven. So it applies to everything. If they empty the dishwasher, if they open a door for you, it's the same thing. They're getting a little insight to what's going on in your body, and they're making you happy. And men want to make all women happy. Their mothers, their grandmothers, their nieces, their sister, their good girlfriend from college, they want to make all women happy. They really do. And they want to feel important when they do so. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Eunice. Thank you very much. You're very sweet. Thank you. Karusha, you are in a no contact with your ex and the 30 days is almost over. Should I reach out first if I don't hear from him after it's over? I don't believe in no contact. So I have no answer for that because I really don't believe in it. And I have some videos about that. I do teach something different in the ABCs to get him back, where if you're using your time wisely and you're doing very specific things, 9 times out of 10, in my experience, the man will come back before the woman even has to worry about doing all these steps I'm telling her to do. But you have to do this work first. That work is internal. So if you want changes in your life, it starts inside. If you want to see outside changes, you have to start with what's going on in your side, inside of you. And that's what my program teaches in the ABCs to get him back. It's at my website, everheartcoaching.com/ABC. Cork says, my boyfriend keeps saying he's always wanted to build a life with an Asian woman and he loves their looks, their culture, and I'm Black and we just had a baby together. It's hard to not lose confidence. What a real jerk to be telling you that. The first thing I would say to him is like, I feel so weird hearing about your passion for women of another race. Is there something I should know? And then stare him down until he tells you. And then tell him, I feel this big. I feel so small every time I hear that. I feel so small. I feel unimportant. And then zip it and let him deal with it. Let him hold it. You see? And he might say, well, I do. I just like Asian girls. And you go, okay. You can accept that about him, that he likes Asian women. I can accept that about you. I don't have to like it. You also don't have to hear it every day. You see? So you want to have that boundary, because men will just say these things. They'll torture us with these things. They say, sometimes I think they're just testing our worth, how much we can stand. He might be looking to pick a fight. I'm getting triggered by this guy, y'all. I don't know if the rest of you are. I'm getting triggered by him, but I would try that. Let him know I feel this small hearing this. It doesn't feel good to me to hear that you're wanting to have a life with another woman and we have this beautiful child and a beautiful home together and life together. You know, is there something I should know? And then you gotta and let him answer it. Okay, I hope that helps. I'm sorry he's doing that to you. He's really triggered me. Millie, you said, should I tell him I'm dating others even if I'm still hurt? No, don't tell him you're dating others. It's none of his business. Can I have feminine energy? Malik, if you're a man or a woman, you can have feminine energy. Even if you're a hermaphrodite, you can have feminine energy. I think you're trying to mess with me here because you retracted some of your comments. I don't know if YouTube's doing it for me. All right. Last question, and then I gotta go walk my dogs before the sun goes down. This has been so fun. I hope you've all gotten a few good lessons in scripting and in masculine and feminine energy. Naomi followed up and said, when I said 50-50, he means more like me to make plans and play the masculine roles, and my husband will go along with it, but he does make plans for us. It's wonderful when he does. I praise him. But let's see. It makes you uncomfortable. I would go a little deeper with that. Why, you having some of the ownership in the relationship makes you uncomfortable. Because remember, this isn't some set, solid, concrete thing. It's really about, here's what I feel. And are you making plans all the time or some of the time? Does he want you to have, a brain and ideas and plans and dreams? I mean, is that what he's asking for? Maybe I'm sensing that. All right. I hope I answered your question. Kate, my friends love that I'm nice and understanding. However, men, you have to stay firm with your boundaries and know what you're feeling in your body. Being nice is wonderful, but it's not a requirement. People think that being nice has something to do with boundaries and feminine energy. And I recently made a video that feminine energy is not a nice energy. It's warm, but it's truthful and it's judged or blamed. Ways has scripts for when he's suffering with depression. So that's you and your feminine energy. It's just a book, 500 Ways to Talk to a Man /talk.